Welcome to High Infidelity, the best cheating videos on YouTube. If you enjoy this content, remember to subscribe and turn on notifications. Now let's get into the video.
My wife cheating on our 10-year anniversary. I work construction. With the rain we have crazy hours trying to make up time that we missed. So I work 12 HRS on the days it's nice, sometimes a little longer. If it's raining when I get up, I don't go in. Some days we get sent home when it starts, too dangerous. I usually hit the gym for an hour or two. Thursday, we started at 6 a.m., mid-morning starts to rain hard. We go home. I go to the gym as usual. I cut the workout short and head downtown to see wife Megan, to give her flowers and make plans for dinner that night if possible. We really haven't seen much of each other this week. I went to bed about 9 p.m. She wasn't home. Called earlier me she is working late. Not unusual for past month. I stopped and got some flowers and went into her building about 12:30. Nishol was at the receptionist desk. I told her I got here later than I wanted. Could she put the flowers on Megan's desk? She said, I don't think they went to lunch yet, why not drop them off yourself? She buzzed the door to get back to the offices. The place was deserted. I went to her office, the door was closed. I always walk in unless the receptionist tells me she is in a meeting. I walk in, some guy is standing behind her nuzzling her neck. She is reaching back over his head. She is giggling only as she can, saying we got to get this done. I am gut punched. I slammed the flowers down, said happy anniversary and walked out. I didn't hear what she said, just went past Nishol, said goodbye and left. Made it to elevators and out the building, then my phone started ringing. I bawled my eyes out all the way home. Went into garage, pulled my camping gear out of the rafters and took off. I drove about 2 hours to a state park. I had no idea what to do. I just had to run. I hiked a trail we have been on in the past, about a 3-hour hike. I don't drink much, so I had no booze. I just sat there thinking. Looking back, I am glad I was in a rush. Normally I bring a 45 cal. With me camping, we have black bears, which generally scare off, but get aggressive if hungry or cubs around. The way I was feeling, I might have ate the barrel that night. I had turned it off. I left the park to get reception, turned it on to see my good friend called. I called him back. He said Megan called him to check on me, make sure I didn't do anything stupid. We talked a bit, told him I got to think this through, would catch up on Friday. So while I am thinking about this, I go over our marriage from the beginning to see what I missed. We come from completely opposite backgrounds. My grandfather raised me with my mom. He taught me about life. He had a little saying about everything. He told me marriage would be the hardest job I ever had, you had to work on it every day. God, I miss him. We did not have much, heard mom and grandpa having many discussions about bills. They worked hard, and my brother and I did not miss out on anything we knew of. Megan was born into money. Not overly rich, but very comfortable. Went to a great college, always great clothes, new car, etc. And she is beautiful, 11/10 beautiful. I would joke with her if she coughed about the silver spoon getting stuck in her throat. We met, hit off, started dating. I was dumbfounded how such a woman would ever be with me. We dated quite a while before she told me about her parents and lifestyle. Our friends called us the model couple, because they thought we were so good looking we had to be models. Families were not as kind, afraid of the differences economically would come into play. Her dad and I started to get along, but my mom took some convincing. She graduates, gets her first job, we plan on getting married. We work out between us that we would expose each other to our lives that we live. I took her white water rafting, she took me to the symphony, we went ziplining, we went to an art opening, etc. We agreed we had to experience the other's interests. She was really enthused about the more physical things we did. I kinda like the symphony and such. I own 2 tuxes now. I look back and do not see any red flags. Her first 2 jobs she quit because the men all tried to get in her pants. She was paraded out in front for photo ops, invited to conferences when other newbies were not. At dinner at a conference, a partner tried to get her drunk, then tried to force himself into her room that night. She quit. The next job, the same thing, quit again. This third job has women as some of the partners, and none of that BS is in her workplace. She seems very happy. We seemed very happy. So now, Friday, I am home. I called her, asked where she was, back at work. I, being in a smart-ass mood, said that the marriage is taking second place to her job. She responded since I would not talk, what was she to do? Fair enough. She will be home in an hour. So I wait. I want to save our marriage. If I am lacking in providing, then I want to fix it. I want to ask why, of course, but I cannot accept a IDK answer. How do I phrase this? What else should I be asking? I know I will get all emotional and forget everything, so over the next few days we will be going over and over this. What she did is wrong, but please no degrading comments. She is still my wife. Thank you in advance. Story 2. My boyfriend almost killed me on accident. I've never posted on Reddit before, but I figured I could really use some advice. Today was a really hard day for me. I basically had a mini breakdown over some serious family issues, and me and my family were all fighting, all over text. Finally, me and my siblings talk on the phone, and my boyfriend was in the room with me while we were on speaker. He thought that I was being too loud, as we live in an apartment, and kept interrupting me, absolutely setting me off. I began yelling, and my boyfriend suffocated me. My brother and his girlfriend hung up before this, and so they didn't hear. He thought that I could breathe, thinking he was only covering my mouth. At first I could, but then he used both hands. He did cover my nose, and I fought for my life for what felt like forever. We even struggled into the kitchen and eventually fell in the hallway. He did not let up. I kept trying to scream that I was dying. I got away and fled with nothing. I came back and got my things and then took off. I just came back after my parents sent me away. Backstory: my boyfriend is very scared of the neighbors hearing us be too loud and panics easily. He is not abusive in any other way besides the suffocation. This is not the first time, but this has been the only time he almost killed me because of it. I've asked him to stop doing this before in the past. My boyfriend and me have talked, and he said that he had no idea my nose was covered too. I feel very scared and shaken up, and worried if he would ever hurt me again. I fought for my life. I also am bound to him by our apartment costs, which I can't afford alone. No family to stay with thoughts. Story 3. My 25 female, boyfriend 27 male, lied about being vaccinated. I met a guy a few months back and we hit it off pretty well. Everything seemed to be going well, and of course the conversation of vaccines came up pretty early because, well, of course it did. I work directly in healthcare with kids, and I'm not going to get into a vaccine argument here because everyone has their own opinions. I shared I had been vaccinated early because I work in healthcare, and then he told me he had been vaccinated in May with J&J, showed me his card and everything. We were drinking the night he showed me the card, and I was pretty drunk, but just glanced at it and thought to myself, great, that makes me feel better. He works with a lot of unvaccinated masked people while I work directly with one of the most vulnerable populations. I like to keep myself safe. That doesn't mean I'm asking everyone their vaccine status. I'll likely have my guard down for obvious reason. Yes, I know vaccinated people can still catch it, spread it, but we also know the literature tells us it is less likely, less deadly, severe. Anyways, the other day he told me he wasn't feeling good, and I forgot when he had gotten vaccinated, so I asked him. And he told me, oh yeah, I lied about that, I'm not really vaccinated. I don't believe in that stuff. I was floored. I have been intimate with this person, and he lied to me about something so serious I could have brought in the disease to my patients and passed it on to them. I'm pretty upset, and I did not really to him, because he knows how I feel about the situation at hand. I just encouraged him to get vaccinated, but he still refused. Things have not been the same, as I'm not as interested in him anymore. Lying about such an important part in my situation is such a red flag, and it has only been a few months. He lied so early and then kept the lie up for a couple months and never thought to say anything beforehand. It makes me wonder else he has lied about advice.